This is part two of a three-part show, which is a recording from my days on Blog Talk. The title of the show aired originally November 11th of 2012 is Are Black Women Stupid When It Comes to Love? The title is a bit provocative, I know, but when you hear the stuff that I'm talking about that sisters was co-signing and in support of, you'll probably agree with me. I would like for black women to have a different attitude about themselves and put themselves first before they think about men, but all of us aren't there yet. Anyway, this video examines some of those mindsets in the forms of posts that were online. I think I found most of them on Facebook. So this is like a first generation of the Dusty News Network that we do now every Friday night. As usual, ignore the telephone number that you will hear shouted out. I will link in the show description below part one and part three so that you can find them easily with just a click of the button. So let me know what you have to say. Post your comments down below. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, now let's talk about this page with the 26,000 likes on Facebook. I'm going to read you something that this man actually posted. This is a real post. Okay, I did not make this up. So before anybody gets upset and thinks this is written by a male, and he posted it up on this page on Facebook, and there are 26,248 black men and women that like this page. Okay, now this is what it says. This is what the post made recently. Hey, single mamas, reality check. Your pussy belongs to you, idiots. So what goes in that fucker and what comes out of that stinky fucker is totally under your control. So if some dumbass is allowed to get in your pussy, that's your fault that a dumbass was allowed into your pussy. If some dumbass's sperm is allowed to penetrate your eggs, that's your fault that some dumbass's sperm was allowed to penetrate your eggs. If some dumbass's baby comes out of your stank region, that's your fault that some dumbass's baby came out of your stank region. Unless your dumbass was raped, you are in total control of your body/vagina. It's time you numbnuts take responsibility for your shit and stop blaming some man because your pussy jumped on some man's dick and surprise, surprise, you got that dick's baby. Dumb asses. Now, you heard that. Please, somebody explain to me why any woman of intelligence and self-respect would click the like button on Facebook on that post. If you have an answer, I sure want to hear it because I have no answer to that. 347-327-9215, press 1. Okay? I think that everybody as shocked as me because that is a real post. I didn't even know what to say. I had no response to that. Okay, but that's not all. You think that's the only thing? He has tons of them. He was, pretty much responsible for a lot of the stuff I'm going to be reading you tonight. Okay. Okay, here's another one. This is from a post I made. I posted some statistics from the Department of Justice about sexual assault nationwide. Now, it was somewhat disturbing because the information presented was pretty horrific, and the statistics said, I'm trying to find it now so I can read it to you. Okay, here it is. Okay. Currently, last census, only 13% of Americans are black. Now, this number includes females, so you know the males are even, less percentage. But black males account for at least 35% of the rape and sexual assault offenders. Black males commit rape and sexual assault at 5 times the rate of whites and Hispanics combined. Now, this number, in case you want to know, I was very disturbed by this. It's very saddened, to tell you the truth. These numbers are collected between 2004 and 2008 by the Department of Justice. They are based upon filed police reports nationwide. They collect the data from local police departments, from state, like sheriff's departments and things like that. And then they compile the data, and this is what came out. So of the sexual assaults reported, the perpetrator was reported to be African American in 35% or more of the cases. That's 5 times the rate of others. Now, keep in mind, I have to admit that most rapes are not reported. Women don't want to go through the trauma of it, or the parents decide not to put their daughter through it, whatever. So, we can't count, though, what is not reported. This is counting only filed police reports, okay? So everyone should understand that. If we added the others, who knows what these numbers would be. But we're counting reports that were actually filed. So the studies go on to say blacks commit single offender rape, sexual assault at about 4 times the rate of whites and Hispanics combined. Blacks commit multiple offender, that's like gang rapes or sexual assault, at 12 times the rate of whites and Hispanics. On the other hand, from 2004 to 2008, which is, the study results timeline, not a single case of single offender white and Hispanic on black rape was reported. The offender is black in 1 out of 6 rapes, assaults against white and Hispanic victims. The offender is black in 100% of rapes and sexual assaults against black women, black victims. So, what does that mean? This is bad. This one for black women. The most person most likely to assault you is another, is an African American male. So that is some information that I posted up online. What happened after that was, I just put it up for discussion because it's like, okay, my perspective is that this kind of thing is going on in the black community is a huge contributor to a lot of the dysfunction that we have in relationships and family. If you cannot trust as a woman, you grow up as a young girl not trusting the males that are in your family or in your environment that are supposed to be there to protect and love you, well, then who can you trust? So it makes a real problem then when this young woman, she's a kid now, but she's not going to stay a child. She's going to grow up. And when she grows up, this pain and this injury that she suffered as a child is coming with her. Okay, she's not going to leave it at 12 and 11. It's coming with her. So you guys, you get in these relationships, and this woman still has this distrust and this, this trauma that she's trying to deal with because, black folks don't believe in psychotherapy. So this girl, she's trying to deal with this the best way she can by herself, but she's a child. She doesn't have the tools to do it. So she becomes an adult now. She's still dealing with this mess. And so, how does that going to affect her ability to relate to a man? Even though she may love this guy, there's going to be some problems in the relationship because of the trauma that this woman suffered. It's like post-traumatic stress syndrome. So this is a reality of what's going on in the black community. I didn't want to whitewash it. I put it out there so that we could talk about it and hopefully come to some kind of resolution. Can there be some kind of group therapy thing set up? Is there some way for psychologists to, or family therapists to devote an hour free at schools? I'm trying to come up with some solutions to this so that when these women get older, these problems are resolved. Okay, that's why I put it out there, not just to quote, bash black men. I'm looking for, this is the story, this is the fact, this is the issue, what are we going to do about it? But that's not what I got. Okay, what I got was a woman who said, I really think we need to stop pointing out every perceived flaw of the black man. I'm raising a black man, and I would hate to send him out into the world thinking he has all these negatives. At some point, we need to stop pointing fingers and find resolution. Well, that's what I was trying to do. So, I didn't understand her defensiveness. But as we went on, I saw a lot of things from the women, a lot of comments from the females that were defending the men. For instance, do you guys feel that these stats are biased? During slavery and before civil rights, it was white men raping black women. It was white women claiming rape by black men. Is it possible that it's easier to report being raped by a black man because America doesn't want us to succeed? What about the men who rape their wives? No means no, whether it's from your wife, your girlfriend, or the broad walking down the street. These are just questions that occurred as I was reading the above comment. Now, I read what she said, and I could understand where she's coming from, but every single thing that she put out there was stupid. It had nothing to do with the statistics. For one thing, the statistics are from 2004 and 2008. I said that very clearly. So to start talking about slavery from 500 years ago, what does that have to do with 2004 and 2008? The statistics also talked about the breakdown of racial breakdown. So there's no need to talk about what white women claimed in slavery against black men. Irrelevant, totally irrelevant commentary. And men who rape their wives. Well, if the wives don't report it, is it going to be a part of this statistic? No. I specifically said it's what is reported to the police. Those are the only way they can collect data if they have a paper, a filing, a police report. That's where these statistics came from. And certainly no means no, whether it's a wife or girl. I agree with that statement. But, every other question that she raised was just a detractor from the facts and totally irrelevant. And so then she went off on this tangent, talking about we need to, defend the black man and, girls lie about having sex with men and then, it's their fault and all this stuff. I mean, she went off on some crazy-ass tangent that didn't really have anything to do with what we were talking about, which is young girls being raped. And, it's like totally defending these rapists and throwing the girls under the bus. Now, what I have to say about that, this is another thing that I have a problem with about so many black women is this is a common behavior pattern. This is a common attitude of black women. And some of the stuff I heard even today from women in cases where their own mothers, they told the mother what the boyfriend did to them, and the mother didn't want to believe them. She wanted to kick the girl out, tell the girl she's a liar. So basically what she did by focusing on that man and her need for that man instead of her child's safety is put the girl in a position where the man can now rape her repeatedly with impunity because he knows her mother's not going to believe her. So this is a common problem. I've heard this story from many, 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 many black women about their growing up, and I don't understand what's wrong with sisters. Okay, 765, what's your question or comment?
This is Steve from Indianapolis or Spartanburg. How's it going today?
I don't know. This is a very, kind of disturbing show for me to do. I have to do it, though, but it's really, really not making me happy.
Well, it's heartbeat. It's like you said, it's the raising. Of course, you're not going to hear me defending any rapists or any bad behavior, men not having their stuff together. But if women are raised around an environment where men get away with a lot of stuff, they're going to see that. They're going to think it's acceptable. It's okay to have lower standards versus other races of women. And so there's valid points like I've always said, if a man's not great enough to submit to or to follow his lead, then that's not the man for you. And
well, my statement is, in this case, I'm going to talk about it a little later. We're kind of jumping the gun here, but I have some data from psychologists and medical doctors that show that males are the weaker gender, emotionally, mentally, and physically. So, and these are medical professionals and psychological psychotherapists, doctors, PhDs. So I'm looking at that data, and I'm like, well, if that's true, then why are women following men? If men are
Oh, how
weaker
are
and they're
we
delicate,
weaker?
then whoa.
But
Well,
how are we weaker? I mean, in what ways? I mean, when
I'll
men
tell you. I copied it all down.
when men run the world, pretty much, white men are the elite. How are white men weak when they're elite? I'm
Because they're
confused.
not elite. It's a brainwashing tactic. Women used to run things. I'm not sure. I wasn't around, so I can't really say what happened and how it happened. But something happened, and women turned over their power to men, and the world's been fucked ever since.
Well, I mean, even going back in the biblical days, they were extremely patriarchal, way more than nowadays. Where they were stoning women and children to death, all that stuff.
Yeah, before that, I think it was actually in the biblical days when things turned over, from what I can see. But like I said, I'm not an archaeologist or a math student of this. I can only spend so much time researching this stuff.
So the women are arguing with you. That's the problem you're having. They keep trying to defend bad behavior.
Exactly, and to the point where some of them, I have a fan page on Facebook, and these women are like, you just attacking black men, you just bashing them. I'm like, I'm not, because there's a whole bunch of men whose daughters have been assaulted. They on my team. They want these clowns dealt with. These women have it twisted, but they're not seeing the difference between a decent man and a knucklehead rapist. They just want to put all black men in one basket and say, well, all black men need to be defended and protected. And I'm saying, no. Oh, no.
No, you can't put President Barack Obama in the same category as those rapists. You can't do that.
Thank you. See, that's what I'm saying. And they don't see that, though. So they just are like very blind to the fact that there are different levels. Just because someone has brown skin, black skin, whatever, that doesn't mean that person is the right kind of guy.
White society don't do it either. They call them white trash.
Exactly. They call them rednecks and trailer trash and hillbillies, and they have all kind of differentiations and levels of whiteness. And black folks, but these black women I'm talking about, they just want to say black men and bow down to all of them like they're all kings. And I'm saying, no, that's messing up. That's bad for the guys who are doing the right things. They deserve kudos and applause and support. These other ones don't. They should get our back. They should be shunned. But instead, they want to put all black men into one basket, and they think that we as black women are supposed to protect and support and encourage and love all of them. And I say, the hell with that.
I've always heard from a long time ago that I used to hear a comment from women, the real men are in prison. And I just never understood. Maybe you understand, the real men are in prison.
I don't
Is that because of they see the aggressiveness as manhood? I used to always hear that from black women. The real men are in prison, and that's why we don't have enough strong men in our community, because they're in jail. I'm like, those brothers can't take care of you. What? I don't. It seems like it goes from money, taking care of your household, instead of that being defined as manhood. Now it's almost like aggressiveness. And so I used to always confuse them. I hear women say, the real men are in prison. It's like they want a man to be able to check them, to be able to put them in their place. Kind of like that type of, what are you talking about, love is pain, that type of, can you speak about that?
Dominant kind of guy.
Yeah.
Okay, let me put you on hold. I have to say I've never heard that exact phrase, but I think I understand the sentiment behind it. But if you look at most of those women, they grew up without a father. So they're looking to fill a void in their life of a strong male kind of guiding and telling them what to do. They don't understand, ladies, look in the mirror. Look at your face. You are not 10 years old. Okay, so there's no reason for a man to come into your life and father you and parent you. That time has passed. So what you need to look for now is a partner who can hit the ground running and be your right-hand man, like you can be his right-hand woman. So there's no need to look for a man to be trying to boss you around and tell you what to do like you're stupid, unless you are, of course, in which case I can't help you. Okay, let's get 717 on here. 717, what's your question or comment? Next is going to be area code 918, so get ready.
Um, hello there.
Hello there.
Good
What's
to be
going
back.
on, dude?
This is Afro Pick. Good to be back on the show again.
Yes, behave yourself today.
How about if I just act like a man? Is that okay?
That should be wonderful.
There we go. What I'd like to say is, just like every man is not to be upheld and uplifted and things like that, every woman isn't either. We have to look at whatever claims are being made. Yeah, some people, some brothers are being bashed. Does rape happen? You better believe it does. And it has to be dealt with on the merits. So if something is provable, it's provable. If it's not, it's not. In terms of are black women stupid? Isn't that the title of the show that you're doing today?
Oh, are the black women stupid about men? Yes.
Yes, I'm Afro Pig. I have been sharing your show with other people too, so my friend has asked me if I was Afro Pig. We as black men often have to come to the relationship and deal with the aftermath of black women's choices. I think many of us do ask that very question when we look at the choices that have been made in men. What intelligent woman would pick this trifling, no good, never had a plan that was worth a damn man to date, to engage in, because I'm assuming that you actually talked to this guy at some point in time, and then after you have sex with him once, twice, 3 times, maybe you got pregnant the first time, but you have 1, 2, 3, multiple babies to men that have no character. Is it wrong for us to then ask, are you stupid? As your show, is it wrong?
On a situation like that, no. I'm in full agreement because once is an accident, twice is a habit. And in a situation like that, I can't really defend that at all. That's a choice I don't understand. I don't understand it. And I can't support it because I don't understand it. And, it's not good for the woman, and it's not, not Willie Lynch, he don't exist. But it's a situation that I don't understand. I don't think it's good for the woman, nor is it good for the child, nor is it good for the community. So why are you doing it?
I agree. Now, I do want to say this. You were telling women last show to get all the money they can from these guys, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I was really, really disappointed in how that, I think, was settled in the mind of the young, the medium, and, I'm in my late 40s now. So, to me, it came across as relationship prostitution.
Well, I look at it like this. Remember the guys you just talked about? What you just said. Now, you just said it, okay?
Okay.
The low life, no job having, whatever, everything you just said. Now, we agree that no woman should align herself with those guys, right? You and I are both in the
That's correct.
Where would she go then? She would go to a man who has some ends meeting. A man who can provide for her. A man who's got
something. How about
something.
we provide for each other?
No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about being the man. If you're going to be the man, then you're doing the providing. So that means.
What does it mean to be the woman? Because I'm kind of
well, that's
lost
off the
sometimes.
topic. That's another show.
Because I'm not supposed to act like daddy and be
no,
dominant.
not daddy. No,
and
you're providing for your woman and your family and your household. That's not being a daddy. That's the providing for your woman, your family, and your household.
That woman that I'm providing for. What are my expectations?
Well, most women work too. Most women work too. But my point is, why would a woman align herself with a broke, stupid fool when she could align herself with a man who's going someplace, who's going to be doing something, who can give her something?
The tone of your show was not
okay,
like
but wait a minute. I got to move on because I need to move on. Okay, I got a whole switchboard full of folks. 918, you're next. What's your question or comment?
Hey, Miss Harvey, this is Ivan. You ain't heard from me in a long time.
Oh, my God. Talk about flash from the past. What's up?
I've heard your show a couple of times. I've tuned in the past and just didn't say nothing in the past because you learn from everybody. You always listen. I think the best way to learn is just listen sometimes. And I'm gonna say it like this: I'm on a board. And I'm saying this is relevant to what I'm talking about. I'm on a board with a bunch of women. I'm part of this group called Nubian Heritage Arts. And there's 10 people on the board, and I'm the only man. I've been the only man on this board for 6 years now. And one of the things that I can honestly say that I've really, sitting there with these women, I've really, really learned a lot about how women think as a result of being the only man.
Mm-hmm.
In turn, what I've been told by some of these women is that it surprises them how I can sit in a setting with all women and not be rattled even a little bit. And the reason why is because I'm very secure in my manhood. Now, why am I saying that? I think that women who allow these, when you say, are they stupid, I would say it's a fine line between stupidity and immaturity, put it that way. I think after you've lived a certain amount of time, it's stupidity. When you're younger, I chalk it up to inexperience and immaturity. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm in my mid-40s. I would think that a woman that's in her mid-40s versus a woman who's in her mid-20s or even 30s would be more apt to make a better choice than a woman who's in her mid-20s that's just really fitting to learn how to be a woman. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a fine line between that. Do you agree?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's one thing I'm thinking is part of the problem in some of the issues that I'm having with the black women is the generation gap. Because, I'm in my 40s, and I was raised in a two-parent household, which is like an anomaly these days. And so, I have a 22-year-old daughter. So a lot of the women that I'm talking to are not that much older than my daughter. I mean, if I had, started having kids younger, they could basically be my child. And it's the kind of thing that when I'm talking to them and I see how confused and backwards their thinking is, it's really kind of scary. But I agree with you. I think some of it is the age. They're just so young and confused. They don't really know what they're talking about, and they don't have anybody that's trying to direct them, and it's really kind of sad.
Well, I'll say this. I work in the entertainment business, and one of the things that I noticed that I like, for instance, when I was a teenage boy, 30-something years ago, if I had a girlfriend and she had more money than me, I might have 20, she might have 50. When my $20 was gone, the date was over. She didn't spend nothing. I mean, I'm for real. Now, I look at this now. These girls that come to these clubs and these entertainment events that I help do security at, and now sometimes it's some of these boys be ballers and they just hold the girl be holding his money. But I would venture to say over half of it is just these girls paying for every damn thing. It drives me crazy because that's not something, we weren't raised, my generation, we weren't raised like that.
See, I'm in your generation. You're right. And my father, my dad would rise up from his grave and slap the crap out of me if he ever saw me mess like that.
I don't think there's anything wrong if a woman decides that she wants to do it after a man has proved himself, then I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But if he's looking to a woman to do that, then that's a problem. Now, the problem is, here's the problem, and that brother mentioned something very crucial. It's sad that when decent men, and you know this because we in the same era, when a decent man comes along, he does have to deal with all of the trauma and the madness that these women have been through. So sometimes, or a lot of times, decent men don't have a damn chance because he's dealing with something that ain't got nothing to do with him.
That's why I'm so adamant about these women stopping with this pom-pom cheerleading thing about all black men are great. No, they're not. You need to reserve your pom-poms for the men that are. Give them their due because they work to get to where they are.
They're not all great. They all have the potential. Everybody has the same potential to be great, but all of them are not, unfortunately. You're talking about the ones who do the raping and all that kind of stuff. I don't think a man who rapes a woman deserves to even be breathing the same oxygen that I'm breathing.
That's what I'm saying. So they don't deserve our loyalty. They don't deserve our respect.
No, a man that rapes a woman needs to have his head cut off. I'm sorry. That's how I feel about that. When you violate a woman, huh?
I said I'm with you. We on the same team on that.
Now I'll say this now. On the same side, when a woman lies about being raped, she deserves the same severe punishment, in my opinion, because a man I know a man who did 14 years for a rape he didn't commit. Of course, he got $1 million for every year that he was in. But look at what he's been through. You see what I'm saying? They found the DNA.
Right. And that's why I like DNA, because it eliminates all doubt.
But what are you talking about? So let me ask you, what do you think about a woman? What should be done to a woman who lies about being raped?
Oh, she should have some jail time. Oh, for sure. She should have some jail time. The problem with it is that sometimes with a woman, and this is where it gets gray, a woman will say that she's raped, but they can't prove it. So if the guy says, well, she lied, then she didn't really lie because it really happened. But there's no, like maybe he used a condom. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So there's they can't really collect as much evidence. But these days, DNA, they're so slick. They will, as long as the woman doesn't go home and wash. See, that's what happens. A lot of them feel so dirty, they go home and take a shower and destroy evidence. Instead, they should go immediately to the police department, because there's hairs. Even though he may have used a condom, he probably left a pubic hair on her. He had hair from his head, even an eyelash, any skin cell, a sweat, all kinds of stuff. So there are ways now, because DNA is extremely sophisticated, that they can find proof where 10 years ago, 5 years ago, they couldn't do it. But now they can. So, it's a little bit different. But sometimes it's just that, Ivan. It's not that it didn't happen. It's just that there's no way to prove it. And so the guy, in his defense, turns around and starts saying, well, you lie. I mean, she didn't lie. It really did happen. But there's just no evidence to back her up. But anyway, I need to go. I got like 10 people holding. Okay. But, I'll try to get back. I'm going to try to cycle back through. But let me I'm going to take 6, 7, 8 now. And then I'm going to go down to 3, 4, 7. Okay.